High-protein, carb-free diets, are they healthy? About 20 years ago, we were all trying to get the fat out of our diet to lose weight. The reasoning was that fat in your food turned into fat on your body. Since that time, a lot of progress has been made in nutritional science. We now know that having some fat in the diet is essential to good health and that cutting fats to an extremely low level isn't a good approach to fat loss or fitness. Unfortunately, as the old saying goes, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Dieters have now swung to the other side of the spectrum and are getting rid of carbs instead. High-fat, high-protein, carb-free diets are experiencing a surge in popularity. Like the low-fat diets of 20 years ago, the carb-free approach to weight loss isn't the best way to get into shape. Fats, protein, and carbohydrates are all essential to a healthy diet. If you take one of these important nutrients to ultra-low levels, you're asking for big trouble. The danger of a high-protein, carb-free diet: carbohydrates are fuel for your body. Though the body will burn fat in the absence of carbohydrates, taking carb intakes down too low will throw your metabolism for a loop. And if you keep your carbohydrate levels too low for too long, your body will essentially revolt and do whatever it can to hold on to valuable stored body fat. When your brain gets the signal that carbohydrates are going to be few and far between, the gears shift and you begin to lose muscle mass as your metabolism uses it for fuel. Maintaining lean muscle mass is one of the best ways to lose weight effectively. And when your body is starved for energy-rich carbohydrates, as it is on a high-protein carb-free diet, you are going to start losing all that hard-won muscle mass. You might step on the scale and be happy that the weight is coming off, but in reality it's not the kind of weight loss that's healthy. Your body needs to use stored carbohydrates regularly to stay energized and keep your metabolism in check. High-protein, carb-free diets rob your body of its preferred fuel source and force it to cannibalize muscle tissue to maintain energy levels. The smart approach to high-protein, carb-free dieting: people wouldn't be cutting carbs if it didn't help you lose weight, and low-carb diets can be an effective way to lose body fat. The key is not to limit the amount of carbs that you eat, but to restrict certain kinds of carbohydrates instead. Carbohydrates that are made from processed white flour and sugar are the two bad sources of carbohydrates that should be severely limited. Refined white flour and refined sugar are staples of the typical American diet, and it's no coincidence that lifestyle-related diseases like diabetes and diverticulosis have skyrocketed in the United States and Western Europe since these types of food products became common. Refined white flour and sugar products have essentially been drained of all their healthy fiber and nutrients. What you end up with is nothing but empty, fat-producing calories. Sugary, starchy foods that are produced from processed, refined flour and sugar are the biggest culprits in the massive obesity epidemic of the past few years. These days, people eat diets filled with unhealthy ingredients and the body turns these calories straight into body fat. Overall calorie intake plays a big part in weight gain too, but diet quality actually turns out to be a much bigger factor than the quantity of food that is eaten. What is the best low-carb diet plan? The best way to go high-protein, carb-free to lose weight is to eliminate sugary, starchy foods from your regular meals. Replace white breads with whole grain breads. Instead of filling up on donuts at breakfast, drink a healthy protein shake instead. Making smart substitutions for processed foods is the smart way to increase your protein intake and lower your intake of sugary carbs. Don't be afraid to eat carbohydrates. Just be sure you have a rich, varied diet that is filled with the right kinds of carbs. What are some good carbs to eat while dieting? Here are some healthy carbohydrate choices you can eat instead of processed flour and sugar products. Vegetables, whole grain bread, whole grain pasta, fruit. If you approach carb counting with an aim toward healthier sources of carbs, you will experience much better results. And it turns out that weight loss and exercise are easier to achieve when you're eating the right kinds of foods in healthy, realistic portions. To really rev up your high-protein, carb-free diet, eat 4 to 6 smaller meals throughout the day instead of 3 larger meals. Keep your body well fed throughout the day and you'll turn your metabolism into a fat-burning furnace. One way to get rid of the junk is to space out your meals and replace unhealthy, sugary snacks with protein drinks like ProfectR from Protica. Protein drinks are portable, quick, and nutritionally balanced for optimum health. Visit Protica.com for more information.